Welcome to the GoodViral podcast.
We believe that people can and want to do more to help others.
So we invite you to join the conversation about the small and large ways that we can help people, animals, and the planet. We'll talk about real stories, like the turtle who had a straw stuck up its nose and how the video went viral in 2018 and changed the course of businesses like Megacorp Disney to change their straws to paper. We'll exchange exciting ideas and meet with guests who are actively making a positive impact with their time on this earth.
You don't have to do much to inspire a lot. Through this podcast, we want to make things easier for people like yourself to get involved.
When good goes viral, the world gets better. We're very excited to have on our GoodViral podcast Nina Siemiatkowski. She was working for a top 100 Swedish company in marketing when she branched out on her own between 2012 and 2016 as a professional photographer, working with a dwindling lion pride in Africa. And she realized the urgency of our biodiversity crisis and wanted to do more. In 2018, she founded Milkywire, which develops digital tools and modern infrastructure to connect organizations that are on the ground working every single day to fight our biodiversity, climate, and pollution crises. So we're very happy to have Nina on the podcast today.
Welcome to GoodViral. We are so excited today to have Nina. She is the founder of Milkywire. Now, if you haven't heard about Milkywire, stay tuned on this episode. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming, Nina. We are so excited to have you today and hear all of the amazing things about you, as well as Milkywire.
Really what we want to understand, the first thing is Milkywire, the company. What is it for you, and what is it that inspired you to start? What is it that sparked the whole idea for you?
Well, so Milkywire is a platform for impact. So essentially what we do is we make it possible for private individuals and companies to connect directly with screen-embedded grassroots organizations that work with climate, environmental, pollution questions. So you can basically support these organizations directly, connect with them, and also follow their work, and that's what makes it really unique. So basically the organizations in the field, they use their smartphones to document the work that they're doing and share. So you're directly connected to them. And that's the essence, like the core of what Milkywire is this bridge between people who care and the people who are out there devoting their lives to these questions all around the world today. And the idea came about because I have a business background, but I resigned from a previous job to pursue a career in photography. I always had a dream of becoming a photographer, and that led me to Kenya, where I followed a pride of lions. This was in 2012 to 2016. And I didn't think so much about the environment at that point in time, climate, biodiversity loss, and all those questions. But when I came to Kenya, I realized that things were not what I expected. This pride of lions that I followed, I realized they were under threat. And I started reading and understood that there's only 20,000 lions left in the world, wild lions, at that point in time, and that there's a dramatic decrease of lions. I started reading and understood that it's actually not just the lion, which is maybe the most iconic species. It's also pretty much every species that exists beyond us humans. It's all natural landscapes possible under threat. And I wanted to do something. Like I felt like, okay, now I know, and I need to take action. And so I tried to find the best organizations. I didn't want to just give to the big ones because I wanted to know, I wanted to have transparency. I wanted to know, where is my money going, to which project, who are these people working on these questions, what exactly are they doing, how will they be using my money, like valid questions you have as a donor if you really are engaged. And it took me years, and I'm not exaggerating, it really took me years to fully understand, just for the lion, like how could I engage. And because we're in the midst of a digital revolution, and we have companies like Spotify and Patreon, and that you're familiar with popping up, all of us really cutting out middlemen, making it easy in their respective fields. I thought, why aren't we using tech and digital tools to bridge the gap also in the charity sector? And so Milkywire comes out of the ambition to basically make charities smarter, more transparent, allow for higher engagement, so that even if you're a $5 donor, you get the same treatment as a $50,000 donor. You actually know where your money's going. You can follow it. There's transparency and so on. So it's coming out of that idea and the ambition to try to solve these tremendous issues that the planet is facing right now.
That's amazing. And, when we were first looking into Milkywire and getting to learn it, we actually learned from Christine Figener, who's the sea biologist. And so when we were on her website, I was like, what's Milkywire? And so that's where I got to learn more about Milkywire. And, I was telling Damian, I was like, the first thing that came to mind was that Patreon model, but for charity work. And so I think you just explained that like very, very well, because a lot of people know about Patreon, YouTube, and all the influencers sending to Patreon. But you totally shifted it and really innovated a tool that's kind of already out there being used and made it your own and really put it to good cause. And I think that really is a testament to not only you, your team, but also to how a lot of people in the world, including us here on the Zoom, can start innovating a lot of different things that's already there to help and to progress rather than to deteriorate and to destroy. And so I just kind of wanted to put that out there, that innovation is really, really pivotal in Milkywire and how it's helped causes. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And I think a question that I often get is like, how come this hasn't happened before? And I think one reason, and there are multiple, of course, and the challenges we face, but one particular answer to it is that the internet and how available it is globally. So we have 50 organizations plus right now on the platform from 30 different countries. And when I started thinking about this idea in 2017, 18, I was in contact with an organization in Zambia in Africa. And they really couldn't, there were times where we were unable to connect for a full month. And I supported them with their first smartphones to try to send content, and it really did not work. And now just fast forward to 2019, 2020, and now today we get updates on a daily basis from the same place. So as internet is becoming more and more global, truly, and tapping into other markets, that's when these types of solutions also become available in, say, the charity sector. So that's really neat, and I think there's more to come there as well. Obviously,
it's so relevant. It's an amazing insight, because I think that people just think now generally with how connected we all are with technology, but the reality is that most of this, like you say, is totally new. And a lot of this, I mean, these are tools that really humanity or nobody has ever had before, and I think that. As you say, we've got to unite and do something now while we can, because most of the beautiful species on this planet are, besides us, are just dying off, shrinking rapidly, right? So,
I mean, one of the last reports I read is it's around 1 million species plus that are risking extinction as we speak right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you, and sometimes I feel like people just don't know where to go, right? It's a lot of what I hear is that they have their couple charities they give to, which is great, but it's this lack of, I guess you could say, first touch or visual touch that they can actually see what's happening. So I think it's testament to what you just, kind of explained, was that with the progress of the internet, we're able to see even more in places that didn't have that kind of access as much. And so being able to kind of see those firsthand in the sense of, video and photography, it's a great way to tell a story quickly that touches that heart, to say, hey, yes, I want to give to that because I now have been aware and educated in that factor, and I can make that impact right then and now. And so I think that's absolutely amazing.
I just want to touch upon what you're saying, that a lot of people feel like they can't do anything about this, and I felt the same. And when I read these reports back in 2012 and learned more, it was so doomsday. And then I would meet with the people who are in these organizations, and they're like, "No, it's we're really hopeful because you just have to do this, this, and this. And it's like, it's in our hands. We just need funding. So like, don't give up, because that's the biggest challenge, I think, as I do what I do today, is that people feel insignificant. We feel like we can't contribute, when as a matter of fact, it's like just a few hundred of us coming together for one particular cause or one organization in the field that will change the game completely. And so it's the psychological barrier where, because it's doom and we can't accomplish, you just don't do anything. It's like, I just go on with my, I do what I've always done because this is pointless. But that's the biggest threat, as I see it, that we're just like skipping to take action because we're worried of not being able to move the needle.
Yeah, it's just analysis paralysis in a way. It's like just not sure where to go, so I don't go anywhere. Totally. So I have my next question, which was, as you go along this journey with Milkywire, and from beginning to now, has something happened along the way that caused you to change direction? And if it was there, what was it, and why did it change direction?
Yeah, so initially we were 100% focused on consumers and private individuals to take action. And so we started building the platform, getting organizations on board. And then we had one of our first, I think, interviews that came out in the press. And companies started reaching out to us and said, hey, we really care. We really want to take action. We would like to do philanthropy within our company and our brand. We feel it's super important. It's one of the core pillars of what we do. Can we work with you? When we're like, yeah, when we're not expecting that. And so talking about it like a big shift for us is all these companies that, started with one, but now we see a massive growth in companies reaching out to us and partnering with them in different ways to create solutions for them to take action for the planet. So it's the same platform. They can customize, they can choose the causes that they care about. They get a connection to the people, the organizations in the field. They get content that they can share also with their consumers, their employees. So that's not changed our intention or what we're doing, but we were not expecting to have so many companies lead the way in this move and shift that we need to see.
Yeah, Anastasia and I, we've been going through this journey. We asked ourselves, what is it that we can do? And as we, and the more that we ask these questions and the more that we explore and the more we learn, it's like, I feel like every day almost I have this feeling of like waking up to something that I wasn't aware of that I need to be focusing on. So I feel like I'm constantly shifting with what it is that's like the most important thing to me, because of like new information, things that I learned that I was sort of not very clear about before, And these kinds of interviews are doing that to me also, or helping me with that also, to be aware of things. What is it for you that like lately or today is the thing that's the most relevant, most important thing that you're doing right now, that you're involved with Milkywire, or with your life? What is it right now that's the most important thing?
I mean, the vision and the problem we're trying to solve for and our mission, it's actually remained the same. So on that level, then of course, I focus on different questions. I'm personally really excited about all these companies that are reaching out to us and developing and standardizing that product for them, so that we can allow for more companies to take more action. So that's one area that I'm very focused on. Is this sort of what you're asking about?
Yeah, it is. No, that's exactly it. Yes.
Make sure I
want to know, like, you had this vision back then. And so like today for you, what is it, because of things, evolve. So what is the biggest pressing thing for you? And so yes, you're answering that. Keep going.
The biggest, so now I'm just repeating myself, but like the biggest, the biggest question is really what I started with. And after the spring, that was super intense. And during the summer holiday, I was reflecting on and trying to get energy to get back to the fall. And I reminded myself of, I know exactly why I'm here. We're here to bridge this gap because people want to take action. They want to do things for the planet. They are genuinely really worried and are not happy with the solutions they find in the marketplace. And then you have the organizations in the field that are putting everything they got into solving this pressing issues, and these groups need to connect. And so that's still it's been since day one, and it's still like my main focus, and doing that's on a high level. But obviously, I'm right now at one part of the product that I'm very excited about, to like solving a part of that, is because we've come to a point where we have so many organizations on the platform now. We're creating this sort of fund product, you could say. So if you buy shares and you buy a fund, you will get many shares of different companies within a fund, or you just buy one specific company. The same if you put that to impact thinking. So you can come in and say, I want to support the ocean. And then you get like 10 organizations across the globe that are efficient working towards this cause. Or you say, I would like to do biodiversity, or I care about forests. So we're creating these funds so that you don't have to choose the specific organizations, but you're getting like a bundle of organizations. And that I'm really excited about, because it just feels like an innovative way to look at charity, and you can create your own personalized bundle as well of organizations. So rather than going to a big organization, it's like you donate to them and then it goes to wherever they choose. Here, it's like you can choose, and it's just a different product. So I'm very excited and see how that will be received by our audience once that's launched.
That sounds fantastic. I like that. I like that a lot. And I really like how you, even in your submission on the bio, even in there, when it talks about Milkywire, it says a lot about these charities and these good causes. They're vetted, they are screened, they are checked out, they're making sure that they're doing what they're doing and not doing what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So I really think the trust factor is a really big piece of charity work and supporting good causes. And that's a lot of the hesitancy people have. It's like, are they actually doing what they're doing? There's things out there like Charity Watch, which helps, scour a lot of these places, but how I guess you could say legit is that as well. And so people have this hesitancy. So I really like the fact that you have Milkywire not only pooling these people together and, that bridge that you said, but it's also really scouring who are these people, what are they doing? And I would imagine you're building a personal relationship with these people as well.
Yeah, we very much are. I mean, it's beyond, besides the tech team, that's the largest team within Milkywire right now that works with finding these organizations, or impactors as we call them, vetting them, screening them, staying in contact with them, helping to solve problems. And we also look at these organizations as our customer. So we try to support them in different ways, also building tech for them to bridge this gap, and also really modernize the charity space for them on that side. But truly, I mean, this is where, so for lion conservation, I found a lot of organizations that were not doing, they were not really making things better, I would put it that way, and with solutions that are not legit. And it's really hard for anyone who's not become a complete nerd within a specific area to know if this is the right way of, how do I know that this organization is planting trees in the right way? That it's not a monoculture, that it's not actually a problem for the indigenous communities living there. Like how can I assess that if I am, it's not my main interest or hobby? So that's what we're also trying to bridge, make sure that you support great organizations, and it's clearly needed because it's really hard, and we see that, and my experience is testament, but I also meet consumers and donors who have the same issue. They really want to do something, but they become paralyzed because they have no idea what the right approach is.
I think that one of the things that we're trying to accomplish is that we're trying to make it easy for people to start doing something. And so you've got, in my mind, you've got a wide range of people out there, people who are very, very active, like one of your impactors, Christine, Figner, who we talked to, talking to her, it's like, wow, she's in there every day doing stuff. And she was, trying to stand under the one little cell tower in Costa Rica so that she could get reception to us to be on our call with us. And so, you could really see that she was really doing it and talking about not only the effort that she does with the sea turtles and marine life, but also she was talking about, the beach cleanups that they do once a week and so forth. So, but this is, to me, this is somebody who's very, very active. And then you've got, of course, all different levels of activity. Part of our idea and our thinking is what about the people that are just not active at all, and getting them taking that first step and moving them towards doing more and being more active, because I'm getting a feel that every day it's more and more urgent. Every day that passes, we're greater to the likelihood of extinction of not only species that we all are aware of, but also there's so much about nature that we don't know and don't understand in terms of biodiversity.
And ultimately, us. I mean, that's the thing, because we are so dependent on biodiversity and our climate. And so, 90% of pollinators have disappeared the last, 20 years. That's a big issue, because they are crucial to food supply globally, as goes for fish, healthy oceans and so on. So we certainly do have to take more action. But once again, back to what we just talked about, it can become overwhelming, and it's so negative that you end up doing nothing. And so I just try to nudge people to do one thing. Like you have to start somewhere and overcome this hurdle of being passive, I guess. And once you get going with one thing, then that feeling of doing that. I mean, actually donating and taking action and seeing your impact is one of the best feelings you can have. And so once you get going with something and you feel you're doing something good for the planet, then you want to do more. It's just that first step of overcoming.
What do you recommend for people then? So with our listeners right now, sometimes people feel like, well, I don't have very much money to give, but I have time, or sometimes I don't have time, I have money, but it's not always just about money and time. I mean, sometimes they have to just know what to do, right? They're feeling a little bit lost. So what do you recommend for people to do to support Milkywire, or support our planet, our environment, to do what they can? What do you recommend for people?
Obviously, I mean, that's why we created Milkywire, for that. I respect that not everyone can donate in large amount, especially, but we hope that people can, donate $3 to $5 to start with per month to a cause that lies close to their heart, or a bundle of causes, and start. So, go onto the Milkywire app, obviously. And I mean, that's why we're building it. We're trying to make it easy and engaging and rewarding and overcome that. And if you can't, just, get the app and start connecting with these people, giving them also encouragement of the work that they are doing. A lot of the times, like Christine, who's in Costa Rica, she and her team, they're lonely out there and they're struggling, and they have, let's talk about their situation a little bit, and how they rarely have the funding for the next few months to go. The challenges they need to overcome on a daily basis are massive. And just getting somebody to say, like, your work is awesome, I love what you're doing, and just encouraging them on the way is also a good step if you can donate. I know a lot of people want to give time. That's obviously always tricky, because it's not time that is the biggest issue for them. It's the funding. They lack digital tools. They lack funding, essentially, and they need to connect to a larger donor base. So if you can't give, get others to give. Get your mom to give. Get your brother to give. Get others. Start going out and engaging others to take action. So for these organizations, it's about making sure they can keep up their work. Often they don't have a pay, even some of the leaders of these organizations, and they're doing it. They're living off the fuel of their passion to drive change for the planet. So be a part of these people's community. I think that's one thing. But then obviously on the internet, you can Google like top 10 things to do for the environment. Stop eating meat. Yeah, but that's not my. and I use those lists myself, but yeah, your listeners can find those. They're really great.
So if our listeners really resonate with Milkywire, what they're hearing, and they want to check you guys out even more, how can they get involved with Milkywire even further? What would you suggest for them?
Get the app or go onto our websites. If you work with a company that is starting to take action within sustainability, reach out to us. Maybe we can work together. Get friends to take action. I said that as well. And also, we hire. So maybe you're perfect for us to join our team. That's also an option. This is not like a one team thing, obviously, saving the planet. And Milkywire is doing an important but still, small part, but we all have to come together. This is back to feeling insignificant. Like, we are really not insignificant. Every single person matters in this, and we all have an opportunity to do something about our future on this planet. And it's also an incredibly rewarding and fun experience to engage with these people who are amazing out there. So, I can really encourage everyone to be a part of a greater mission and getting closer to those who are out there, like the people on the ground, the boots on the ground. It's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the message, because what you've said. Because I think a lot of times people think of, donating to charity as being something that, that's done by bigger organizations or people who have a lot of extra money and so forth. But I love the message of hey, a small amount of money helps, right? Even just $5 helps, and also connecting with people helps. So connect with Milkywire, connect with the people that are out there, the scientists and the workers and the people who are out there actually taking action. Connect with them, support them, connect with each other. And so, I'm just repeating what you're saying, but I'm trying to reinforce the message because that's exactly what Anastasia and I are always talking about. And it's like you're speaking our language. This is it. And we've got to do it now. And so I'm so happy to have this connection with you today, and I'm so and we are so happy because it's like we're there's really no sides on this. We're really all of humanity and all the planets and animals and everything. We really are in this together, and there really is a crisis happening that is it's in a way it's almost like it's like the perfect storm. It's happening so fast, and humanity is the cause of many of the problems, but we don't really have a lot of the solutions. So we've got to take our first steps, and by taking those first steps, the encouraging message that you give is that, hey, it's not too late. We can do something. We can make a big impact, but we have to inspire others to join us, and so that's what it's all about, right?
And I have to add, I am truly an optimist. I feel very positive. I was at a few seminars last week. There are so many solutions coming now to solve these problems. But we can't wait for these solutions. We can't wait for every company to get to that point where they have positive solutions for the planet rather than destructing the planet. So that's going to take a few years, even the best companies, to change their supply chain and get it right. That's going to take time. And while that is happening, all of us have to protect what's left. Protect, restore, and make sure that effort that is being done now by those who get it, that's not in vain. It is happening. That shift is happening, but we have to protect the Amazon. We have to restore the ocean. We have to do these things now. And it's and every single penny matters. And here's a number, and I mentioned this, we talk a lot about it internally. 2% of all donations go to the environment. 2%. That's it.
Wow.
So in the light of the crisis, and that everything else is dependent on what we're facing now, a healthy environment on this planet, only 2% is going there. And there's a tremendous funding gap. And but we're a lot of people, and if everyone can chip in a few dollars a month, it's gonna happen. It's easy math, to be honest. And this was one of the tipping points when I founded Milkywire, realizing that it's only so few people coming together for a specific question to solve it. Like Christine, for example, she needs few hundred people giving $5 to $10 a month, and she can keep on doing her work, 100% focused, not spending 50% of her time fundraising, but fully focused on the cause that she's trying to solve for. And that's a few hundred. I don't know how many people are listening today, but that's what you can do together. I think that's to cheer for, that there is a solution.
This idea of giving $3 a month, here in the United States or over there in Europe, whether it's €3 or $3. We tend to associate that to a small something that we may purchase, whether it be something at the market or something at a coffee shop, whatever it may be. And so we think, if I give $3, that's not going to do much, right? Well, let's put that into perspective, right? I have a friend over in India that over COVID, it's just been, really bad. And so he asked me, he said, hey, just this last week, actually, he asked me, hey, I know this is weird, but I would love it if you were open to sending me some money to help my family out. You can come and visit anytime, trying to say that whole thing. And I was like, okay, let's double check this isn't a scam, right? All of that stuff. But eventually I ended up sending him $100 from Western Union. And I looked it up because I was kind of curious. I sent him $100 and I was like, how much is rent over there? How much is water? How much is a bag of, basmati rice? And he texted me back and he was, over Facebook Messenger. And he was like, I was able to pay my rent. I was able to buy my family food for 2 weeks. Thank you so much. $100 can go a long way. $3 can go a long way as well, especially in these places that are working, with lions and in Costa Rica and all over the world. $3, $5 can go a very long way. And, sometimes we get wrapped up in, $5 isn't a lot of money. It's not a lot of money in your area. It is significant towards a cause in another area. And like you said, Nina, if you have a couple hundred people doing that, now you're bringing in $1,000 a month. What kind of impact could that do for a place in India or a place in Africa or a place in Costa Rica, right? It's exponential. And so really kind of getting out of your own box in a sense and realizing the world doesn't really run on the same frequency of your dollar. It's very different and it has more impact. And so going to Milkywire and finding a few causes that you really are totally into and saying, hey, I want to give $3, $5 a month. That is significant, as you were saying, like with Christine, and to getting them to do 100% focus on their actual cause versus fundraising. And fundraising takes a lot of time and it even takes money to do. And so really focusing on, hey, $3 to $5 a month, it makes a big impact. So
we already see it's happening. And that's the coolest part right now. It's like it's working, and they do get, with a few hundred people giving small amounts of money, it changes the game for them. Suddenly they can hire another person, they can buy that car, they can, it's just like.
Well, thank you so much, Nina, for being on the GoodViral podcast. And everyone who's listening, please go to the Milkywire app. You can download it on your App Store or your Google App Store, and you can start finding causes that you're totally all about and just give those $3, $5 a month. It's a start. It's a first step.
Or more. Absolutely.
Or more.
That's right.
Give up that Starbucks, that $8 bucks every week, and you can totally do that. So thank you, Nina, for being on the GoodViral podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Yes.
Thank you for listening to the GoodViral podcast and being part of the conversation. If you are inspired by this episode, go to our website at goodviral.org, where you can find resources and listings from the episode to continue good efforts.
Like, comment, and share this episode to any or all of your social media channels. It's really easy to take a small action, and maybe you'll inspire a big result.
When good goes viral, the world gets better.